Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I have a review of the Old Town for the 15th anniversary of Ninjago. This retails for $299.99, has 4,851 pieces, and I mean this is easily the best set from Legacy. However, it's not for everyone, especially with that price, but I mean I couldn't ask for anything else with this set. It is spectacular, and this review will be a long one, especially compared to some of my recent ones, as there's a lot of figures, and this is a massive build that I really want to, in celebration for 15 years for this show that, I've been following for 15 years. I really want to do this justice as the big set of the year. So yeah, hope you enjoy the review. This is going to take a while to make, so if I say something again throughout the review, it's probably because it's been a couple hours since I started it, and I'm doing clips randomly, kind of. That's enough rambling on about this. Let's get into the actual review. So if you haven't seen this set, there is something special about it. You don't just move it entirely as is, as that is really unsafe. So it does split into 4 sections, which is really easy to do. All you have to do is unclip this zip line, and then you can pull out that side, and then from there split these, and then split these. So going into the review, we'll go over each section individually, but because of this you can move around sections. So certain sections have if I can pull this around, have these side pieces which can be moved around just like that. And then you've got this little statue which has, again, a couple pieces you can pull out, and that just allows you to put it there and then have it continue on and sort of make it easier to move around and stuff. But I am getting a bit ahead of myself. We'll go over this side build, all the side builds, then we'll go section by section of how they're built, and then yeah. But first I do want to try and get some footage of just some alternate builds you can do with this set, because there are some really nice ones. I don't remember how this goes. There we go. Yeah, I'll get some footage of some combinations I can try and make. I don't have as much room on this desk, but I'll figure out a way for you guys. So here's just something I quickly came up with. You've got the main gate and then the main back area, and then connecting it around on the side, so it's a bit different. So you get more of a little courtyard, and then off to the side you get a little lookout as well, which just makes this center area more open, which would be great for display, I feel. But personally, not how I am displaying it. I'm displaying it how it is on the box. I also forgot to keep this attached, because in most configurations you can usually keep the zipline attached or find a way to do it. But yeah, I mean, this is one way. There's a lot of ways to do this. There is one long version which I'll try to get, so hopefully that's the next clip. So this is another version of it. This is a much longer version, as you can see. Could very barely fit this on my actual main desk. Again, I forgot to attach the zip line, but in this configuration you can as well. And you can see it uses the first spinjitzu master statue and then some of the corners on either end to create the full thing. I think it looks really good. This is one way to display it if you've got more of like a long shelf or like a spot above your desk like I do have. I just don't have the space for this version. But if you don't have this space to have it in its ring, this is also a very good way to show everything, and you've got full access to basically everything. It's just you don't really see the front bit of the gate, or the well, yeah, it's really just that front bit of the gate which you lose detail on, but then you get to see the detail of the back, which is, I think, a fine compromise. But yeah, I think this is a good version, but don't have much else to say. So let's get into the actual main review of the rest of the set. So starting with our first little side build of the set, it is just a little tea cart for Mistake, which is, it's really nice. It's only like a handful of pieces, but it's a good thing to add into the center of your town. So you can just grab a figure just like this, and then have them hold onto the handlebars, and then just wheel it around as there's some wheels on it. There's a little teacup, a teapot and some teacups, sorry, and then you've got these to act like it's closed for the day, so you can simulate life in the old town. And it's a little filler build, but it works really well. It's just something nice, and works for Mistake, as you know, she's always been a little bit of a tea vendor throughout the show. But yeah, only a couple pieces, but it is very nice. Our next side build is a shrine to the first spinjitzu master, at least that's what it seems. As I showed before, you've got multiple parts which can come off, which give you more pinholes and ways to connect the set. Each of these parts are really cool, as each of them show a different golden weapon. So we've got the Side of the Quakes, Sword of Fire. The one that is connected to the base is the Nunchucks of Lightning. And then you've got the Shurikens of Ice in the last one. And you just attach them all back on, just like so. And yeah, you get a nice little side build, and you can spin this little bit around. Technically, our first figure of the set just uses the same printed piece ever since Rivendell, I'm pretty sure. And then just regular grey minifigure pieces. And then they just sit on a pedestal in the center on an angle. So you can have this in the center of the town as like a centerpiece if you've got it in the circle, or as you saw, can be split apart to connect it in different ways, which I think is really cool. I really like this, and it especially fits when we have the first spinjitzu master in the set. And then our final little side build of the set is this little carpentry station. It comes with a detachable roof, which is really nice. It comes with the big Grievous windscreen piece in dark green, which is a new recolor for the set, and the designer of the set every year sneaks this piece in a new color, so very cool to see it here. That sign, I don't know what it says. I haven't memorized all these signs in NINJAGO because there's a lot to them. I think this is just carpenter or something, I don't know exactly, but yeah, you can take that off very easy. You've got a little sign as well on the side, and then just some wood chips and stuff all throughout. We've got 2 planks which are just loose, just like that. There's nothing to actually connect them, but you just slot them in and they hold each other in place and then sit there like that. You just got some more on the side table, some logs on the end, and then the most important piece is the blueprints to Wu's little chariot from the pilots, which is really funny to see. It's a nice reference to the pilots outside of like Garmadon especially. But yeah, not much else to this build. It's very small and is one of the first things you build in the set, but comes with a nice little reference, which I'm not complaining about. But yeah, let's move on to the main build of the set. So this is the first of the 4 main builds. I will be going in order of how you build them if you are wondering. So this is the first thing you build apart from the side builds, and it's nice. There's not a lot to it. It is actually pretty big. I think it's the longest section, and it is the second smallest build of the whole set actually. But it's very nice detailing. You've got a little centerpiece with some studs, so you can put a figure like that walking out or walking into the old town. There's some nice detailing on the front on those pillars, which does look really nice. I do like those details. They're all throughout the set. They can get a bit turned, which is kind of bugging me now. Coming along to the side, you've got some foliage out front, some small trees, and then you've got a slightly bigger one which is cracking into the wall, which I think looks really nice. And then coming around, you've got another little side bit of the wall, which is then where you connect the next section or another section of the set. You've got a little lantern up here, which is used again elsewhere in the set, so it's nice having that sort of consistency. And then this tree, you've got a bigger leaf, and then around the back you've got another one, but we'll get to that in a moment. Looking at the centerpiece, you've just got like a really beautiful, like not roof, but like, I don't know what to call it. It's like the top piece of the entrance. And on each of these corners, you've got a new for this set colored black frog, which is used a lot throughout the set, and I think looks really good. It works really well for that sort of Japanese, Asian inspired roof design, which Ninjago really likes to use. And then coming around to the other side, it's got another small tree and then another bit of the wall, which connects to another bit of the wall in another section. But moving around to the inside, this is where a lot more of the interesting stuff is. So you've got some rocky area, which again, you could always put a minifigure on if you wanted to display them. Coming around, you've got the main entrance. In this entrance, up at the top, you got a little flap which opens up, and then there's two special references in here. You have the scroll of the Green Ninja, which is something we never got in a physical set, even though it was like the main point of season 1 was this whole prophecy of the Green Ninja. So it's really cool to finally have in a set. I believe it doesn't use Ninjago on it, or it might, I don't know. But because it doesn't use Ninjago in the show, I think they took the creative liberty not to use it on that one. And then the other thing we got in here is very different reference. The Prime Empire motherboard, which is obviously from season 12. Very crazy to get that in this set, and because of this there is a reference to every season, I believe, so I'll try to cover all of them I can. So we've got 1, 12, and then there's another one in this section. But yeah, it's nice, it's a nice little reference, and it helps fill out the space. They could have put something else up here because there is a lot of room, but I don't hate that it's just those two, as it's nice to especially get the prophecy in its own form through a sticker. And then finally, in the final section, we've got that same tree on the other side, a little frog sitting there, and then one of the coolest stickers from the set, if I can get it off, you have the wanted poster, or the Zane is missing, or Zane is alive, sorry, poster. So in Ninjago it says he is alive, and it's got the picture of Zane, obviously from season 4, Tournament of Elements. And I mean, I love this reference. It looks really nice. It just sits there on the wall, very similar to how it did in the Ninjago city in the show. And then you can have theoretically all your ninja, apart from Zane, obviously, standing around and looking at that, which is a really cool reference. But as for everything else, there's not much to this. There's some nice sticker detailing up there, and I think I thought there was one on the other side, but no, that's just the main little symbol there. But yeah, looks very good. Don't have much else to say. This piece right here, it's new in this color for this set as well, so another sneaky recolor put in. But yeah, don't got much else to say about this section. It is the second smallest and also the one with the second least information, like the references throughout the set. So let's move on to the next section. So our next section for the build is the post office and also the Dragon Hunter store area. This is the second biggest part of the set, and it is one of the more like dense builds. I really love this. This could have been sold on its own, to be honest. I'd say the same about the last section as well, because they just work really well. I don't know how to explain it. But going into the actual build, you've got more of a tree on the side here, and then you've got some stairs to go up to reach this top section. And then down at the bottom, you've got the post office, which there on the sign, it reads post office. Shocker, I know. You've got another tree here, and then a little letterbox as well, which has a letter in it. Yeah, not much else to say about that there. Just to get this out of the way, on top of the Dragon Hunter shop, there is a little crane, which uses string. I really hate when LEGO sets use string, like this kind of string where you have to tie it yourself. You can see I had so much extra room on both ends. I really hate having that extra room. I could cut it, but that just feels wrong. But yeah, I always hate when sets do it. But all you gotta do is just roll it down, and you can drop this to the outside, or you can lift it up and obviously swing it around from the outside. And all it is just a little barrel attached, same way it always gets attached. And then inside you just got a little cookie in there. But yeah, I just want to get that out of the way so it's not swinging around the whole time. It is kind of annoying to crank up and down because it is a really small knob, but yeah, not much else to say about that. Coming back down, we have, I think, the most references on a sticker right here, and this does actually get covered up when you do the main orientation, but when you flip this little piece around and connect it from this side, you can see it. And I think it's a shame that it gets covered up because it's so many references. You have the Skybound, Sky Pirates logo from Skybound, the Sons of Garmadon logo, the Woo Crew logo, the little Unity symbol from the original Legacy Wave and Season 10. And then the two coolest references are to the different Garmadon comics. I don't know these ones specifically because I haven't read that comic, but this is the Red Crows, and I believe that's an R and a C on the logo, and that's really cool to see that reference in an actual set because I really liked those comics, and they are a part of Ninjago's history after all. Going up to the top, just to get this out of the way, you've got a little balcony area, which again, you can just put a figure on, multiple studs to put them around, and then this is Faith's shop. I'm not sure what that sign says, but going into the actual shop, you've got a little balcony, the Dragon Hunter symbol, which is also on the other side, and then to gain access, you can try and fit your fingers in, or you can just take off this section of the roof, and you got a lot more access in. And then inside there, you've got an engine, seems to be some kind of like, it's just a mechanical part, and then a gear, and then you've got some clips on the walls to hold Faith's tools. And then yeah, I love the design of this. It feels like almost ripped straight out of the Season 9 sets, just slightly modernized with a few newer pieces. But yeah, and then coming around on the outside, you have the post office back, which we'll get back to this in a moment. And then on this wall, you have a small little play feature, one of the very few in the set. You have a poster for Kai, Wildfire, and Nia when they were wanted in Dragon's Rising Season 3. And to get a better look at that, you just push in on this statue, and then this wall comes out. So you can see the wanted poster there, and it just says wanted at the top. And then on the other side, another reference to Dragon's Rising Season 2, you've got a shadow play of Gandalf and Rontu and Egolt's story of banishing the Forbidden Five and all that. And then that just connects into a little clip there. The mechanism to actually push it out is really cool. Was really fun to put together. And it's not something you can easily mess up either, which is actually really nice and great for slightly younger people who might struggle with Lego sets, but I don't imagine many of them are getting this set. But getting to the post office, to get inside, you don't take off a roof or anything, you just swing it open, which is really cool, very nice feature. And then in the actual post office, there's a lot of stuff. You have a little phone here on the side, which is a really interesting build. Some mail, and then you have a game version of Prime Empire, which is apparently a reference to city sets, but personally I don't really understand it. And then also in the post office, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it out, but you have two trading cards there and there of Knuckle and Cruncher from the Skulkin, and those are two more trading cards we don't have yet, so very nice to see them referenced. Then getting into the main post office, you've got a little mug, a water cooler, and then round here on the side, a little light over a, what's it called? Just a letter writing station almost. And then you've got the door on the inside, which you can push out, which allows you access for the figures. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this section of the set. It is a very nice section. I think it's personally my second favorite, because that back section is just kind of perfect. But yeah, let's move on to the next section. So our next section of the set is the smallest, and it's just a little lookout tower. There's not much going into it, and there is only really one build to talk about here, but it was a really nice little section. It really helps bring everything together, I think. So coming over to the side, we've got this nice rock pattern, which is very similar to the blacksmith shop, and then also the Dragonstone Shrine, as it was all done by the same designer. You have this little sign here, which has a sign to the gate and then a sign to the museum and post office. So that only really works in the main configuration. Doesn't really work in many others, but it is still a nice sticker to have. You've got a little ladder on this side, which works as a little walkway, so you can have characters walk across, or you've got a little ladder here so they can come up from the bottom. Underneath that ladder, there's really nothing, just more of the wall. And then coming around to the side, you can see this little front section supported by some beams, some regular beams and then some vertical ones, horizontal ones, I mean. And you get a little tree build as well in there. And then this main little area, it's got a little sign saying Old Town on it. It's just a little lookout. You can take the roof off. It's a bit annoying to get off. It doesn't help getting that much in, but you are able to pull out the telescope, and then I probably won't be able to pull this one out, but there's a little table in there as well, which has a very nice sticker on it, which is again a reference to not only the pilots, but also every time it's now shown up in the sets, and every time it's shown up in the show and now in the sets, there's a little piece of art of the blacksmith shop, which is really nice. There's a crossbow in there as well, just to, like, if you're at the lookout tower and enemies are coming in, you can shoot off at them. You have the connection for the zip line there as well, and then that same little lantern build that was on the front gate area, and then behind that there is a sign. There is a, damn, that's not coming out, because it's got a pole in it. There's a sign which I think just says lookout. So it's all really nice. It's just really small. There's not much to it. It's not very memorable. And this lamppost is so flimsy. You can just knock it off so easily, which won't be a problem for most people when they're displaying the set. But it's really a problem if you're trying to review it and trying to move it around. You will knock that off multiple times. But yeah, overall, it's a nice small little part of the build. These pieces could have gone to make something a little bigger in other parts of the build, but it does round it out to complete that center section. And then our final section for the set is the main museum tower. Just, it is the biggest part of the set. It's where the most pieces go into, and yeah, it's really, really cool. So let's get into the bottom and we'll work our way up. So starting down at the bottom, you have a little walkway similar to the entrance, but this could be like a back entrance or going into more of the old town. So you can similarly get figures walking in or walking out from the same spot. There's these nice little commemorative like signs. I don't know why I call them commemorative, but these are on both sides, front and back of it, and those look really nice. And then looking on the inside, if I can pull these out, I probably won't be able to. So let's try and get a good view of them. You have two stickers. So one is for Shintaro from season 13. So there's our season 13 mention. And on the other side, we have a place called Two Moon Village, I believe, which is what it says on the sticker, I think. I can't guarantee that. And that is, again, another place from the Garmadon comics, which is a really nice reference to see. Continuing down at the bottom, you have a little door which goes into a section, which you probably won't be able to really see that well in, but there is a sticker on the back which says Sleen Sleen, because it is misprinted. It's supposed to say Sleep Sleep with a little spider in there, obviously to represent Harumi's song from season 8, and then which reappears in Crystallized. Continuing along, you have the only rock piece actually used in the entire set, which is really cool that this entire rock face only ever uses one, and it's just really because, I mean, I don't know what they would have put there. You've got a nice little pond area down here. Ooh. which looks really nice. You have a different flower compared to the other flowers. There is another one of those further up. And then around here, you also have the stairwell going up onto, or well, going up to this top little area. And under here, I don't have a good way of getting under here now that I realize it, but Moro's head is under there. It's a skeleton head with Moro's hair on a green plate. It's kind of a dark reference. Speaking of references built in, the Teapot of Tyran is under here somewhere, I think. Can't remember, but that's also a nice reference to season 6. Anyways, going up the stairs, you've got more rock patterns, similar to the previous section we looked at, so that very much continues on this entire area. You have this very nice cherry blossom tree as well, which is the biggest version of the tree. It feels very similar to the one in the Dragonstone Shrine as well, and that looks really nice. I love the detailing of the main body trunk of the tree. Coming around the back here, before getting any further up, on the tree we have Moro's kite, which is a really cool reference to get. Obviously a little bit dark because his dead body is right below it, essentially, but it is really cool to get. And then back here is only reference to Dragon's Rising Season 4, which is a very nice reference. So you can flick this boulder up, which allows you to get in, allows figures to get into the secret hideout, but we can pull it out, and then to get better access to it, you can take off this little top section, and there's the hideout for the Loyalists. So slight spoiler for Dragon's Rising Season 4, because it is not out yet. The Loyalists are loyal to Empress Beatrix, it seems. So there's a little sticker of Beatrix, a holo table using Imperium tech, and then that sticker back there, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to really get it shown. It has the elemental monsters symbol from the elemental monsters within the series, within the mainland sets, which is really cool. And it's a nice little reference because the old town will be in the show, not exactly like this, but it will have their hideout. So it's cool to get that reference because it is actually supposed to be here. And then going up into this section, you've got more of that rock pattern and another little pool with another special flower piece in there as well, and then just a little lantern hanging off the side as well. But let's get into probably the most detailed section of this entire set. So getting up here, we have the museum, which is where a lot of references are. So you've got a nice little front entrance, which looks really nice, a nice door there as well, but that's not exactly our way of getting inside. So coming around the back, you've got two sections to pull out. You can pull out this wall here, this wall as well. Sometimes you have to push it from the inside, and then you can also take this roof off, and that just gives us a lot more access into these rooms right here. So you've just got a little entrance, not much special going on it. On the wall on the inside there's a ladder going up, and then that covers a window. But going into Dr. Saunders' main office, essentially, or the main office of the museum, you have on this table here the Temple of Light diagram, showing how they have to have the 4 ninjas at each of the light pillars to get the golden ninja power. You have a little chair for a figure to sit in, so we'll use Wu again, as I have been. He might not be the best because of the hat, but you can just get them sitting in there, not attached to any studs, but it is really nice. You got some builds for some books on the wall, a chalice. You have the Scroll of Forbidden Spinjitzu as well, depowered obviously, which is also a really nice reference to get. And then right here is probably one of the earliest references outside of the Prophecy of the Green Ninja. We have the Jack the Rabbit book, is I think what it's called. And then inside it's got the famous words, "Never trust a snake" in Ninjago, which obviously very, very big thing for those early seasons, especially with Lloyd. So very cool to actually get in a set. So just to close this up, we put the wall back in. The roof, which is made at a really specific angle to get around the building, which I really love the design of this. It was confusing to put together, but it came out really nice. And then that just slots in there. And then this wall just slots back in right there. And then actually to access the next bit, I did forget, we need to take this off again. And then from there, we can pull out this wall. Sometimes you have to push in from the inside, which then gives us a little bit of access to some of the details in here. So we have the original Destiny's Bounty set as a little box, which is always nice to get with these Lego sets. I think that's just a reference, that's Twitchy Tim at his service station. And then we have the big Destiny's Bounty from the Ninjago movie, which is our Ninjago movie reference for the set. And then that just slots back in there. It just sits loose, it's not attached to any studs. And then on the wall at the back, if I can get a good angle of it, we have the imagery of the Oni dragon from season 8, where Mistake was talking about the origins of the first spinjitzu master in the first realm, which is really cool. And then coming around here, we've got the little zipline piece, obviously for the zipline, and then a ladder as well, and then a nice little sticker right here. But let's put these all back. So again, you just put the wall in if it wants to go in. This one is a bit finicky at times. And then roof back on as well. So coming around back to the front, there's a nice little balcony area. We have a spyglass. Off to the side, I believe that reads museum, or it says Old Town. It might say Old Town. That's what it says. That's me using my thinking skills. Again, to gain access, you've got a roof, which can easily be taken off. Again, I really love this roof design. I love the whole design of all the roofs. This one especially, as how it separates there. But yes, there is a way to get in. So coming back around to the back, there's a wall you can take out, which allows you easy access. Another chair, some filing cabinets, a little fan, and then I'll go even further up so we can look down. There is Cyrus Borg finding the asteroid from season 3, which is a really cool reference, only a reference to season 3 unless you count the Zane face print. And then on the wall off to the side, our final reference for the set, there is actually one reference I forgot. We have the Wojiro mural. And then, because I did forget, we can put these back. But back in the main sort of, what's it called? Office area. On the back side of this wall, there's 3 more references. So we have Lloyd's future. I don't remember what it is. I don't remember the exact scene, but they were looking in a mirror and seeing their worst possible future versions of themselves, essentially. Not the crystal caverns from season 6. I don't remember where it's from, but Lloyd sees himself as Garmadon, which is like horrifying to him. And then also up here we have the Day of the Departed moon cycles, which is really cool. And then the Cornishes, however you say his name, to figure out the dragon form and crystallize, which is again a really cool reference, and that might come back with season 4 with the ninja's new Draconis forms. But I believe that's everything for this part of the build, and in general all the builds of the set. This is easily like the best part, the best build of the entire set. It looks amazing. This could have been sold on its own, and I feel like so many people would have bought it anyways. But yeah, let's go on to the figures, which is going to take a while as there is a lot of figures and I have a lot to say. So getting into the figures, I just want to highlight these ones first, as none of these figures here are exclusive to the set, feature nothing that is exclusive except Kai and Cole with their hair pieces. and I have already covered all of these guys, so I'm just gonna do it very quick. So Wu very much is just that season 1 outfit, looks very nice, don't have much to say. Kai comes in the ZX suit, ZX armor, looks really good, all things considered, and if you do want to give him a face mask, you can get the blacksmith and get an extra one. It was just to save on budget. Next is Cole, who uses gold instead of silver for the ZX armor and some of his printing. Except I do think it works kind of well for Cole, all things considered. It still feels off and it would have been nice for silver, but the gold's just used to be, you know, representing how special this anniversary is. But yeah, nothing else for Cole. Zane, probably the coolest of the anniversary figures. Again, uses the ZX suit, but slightly updated. However, because we don't have a yellow Zane face, we have a new one, which is very much the original Zane face, and then on the other side is him where the face mask has fallen off. And that's also can be seen as a reference to season 3, which is really cool. Very nice to have that again, and looks so nice with that one. Lloyd, again, uses gold instead of silver, except it really works for Lloyd because he becomes the golden ninja. So yeah, I do think he looks really good here. He also uses the original snake symbol he had back in season 1, which is just really cool to see. But that's it for Lloyd. Next up is Nia, who's in her pilot season 1 outfit, and she looks really good. She comes with the original weapons as well. Slightly updated, but not too much change. She just has back printing now. She has the original hairpiece back, and then the phoenix that's on her outfit instead is a more watery design compared to a fire design, which obviously more of a reference to her becoming the water ninja. And then going into our Dragons Rising figures, just to get some representation here, we have the Loyalist, which is pretty good, but I don't have anything special to say about the Loyalist, because I can cover it with the Loyalist Leader, as unfortunately they use the same torso and legs, but the design of them is really cool. And as already stated in this review, they are loyal to Imperium, so they have the gold, the dark red, and the black. And specifically, this is Dr. LaRoe, which is a really cool thing. Also comes with this staff, which comes in 2 of the other sets. And yeah, you can get both the Loyalist and the Loyalist Leader in 2 of the Dragons Rising sets. You can get all the ninja in the anniversary display. You can get the Nia in the blacksmith, and you can get Wu in all the legacy sets. But yeah, just wanted to get those guys out of the way because there's nothing special about them. Already covered them, and this is already going to be a really long review, I can tell. Getting into the more exclusive figures, Jay isn't exclusive to the set. He also comes in the anniversary display. However, this version doesn't come with the ZX armor. Well, yeah, it doesn't come with the ZX armor. He gets the Nunchucks of Lightning, which is a new design. However, he gets the full wingsuit he had all the way from the pilots when he first met Wu. And you can spread these out, flap them back and forth as well. Just attached with a neck bracket really easily. Also, not that many pieces. And then something really good is, because of this piece there, I'm trying to figure out how to show these well. It helps Jay stand up, which is really nice. But yeah, don't have much else to say about the wings. Going into the actual Jay figure, he uses his silver armor. So I think this version looks really good because he doesn't have the gold armor. However, because there's no other way other than getting the display set, he does come with his mask, which does have gold on it, unfortunately. So if you have the original ZX hood, you can swap it out to be silver, and that's basically your silver Jay, because he hasn't changed anything else to gold. I think it looks really good. Jay also has a new face print, because we don't have a regular Jay face in production anymore. We just have the single face for Rogue, and then the Dragon's Rising head for the Dragon's Rising sets that he got ninja suits for. But yeah, he's got an angry expression and a happy expression, and I think it works really well. But I'm really happy we got this version of Jay, because we've never gotten this, and it's like iconic for Jay. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about Jay. Let's get into the actually exclusive figures of the set. Starting off, we have Chuck the Carpenter. This is a very random character. He is the most filler character out of anyone, as most big Ninjago sets usually have a couple filler characters who don't actually mean anything to most people. However, there's a little reference to Chuck. The reason he has that name is in Day of the Departed, Cole meets a friend, one of the young students called Chuck, and we also find out that one of the young students likes carpentry and is a carpenter. So they just merged those two facts into one and made Chuck the carpenter, who owns the little carpentry shop that we looked at before. But he just uses city parts. I think he uses the exact same torso that blacksmith Kai used back in the city markets. But yeah, he looks alright. Nothing too special. Yeah, just one of those filler characters. Our next figure is the administration agent. So this is another filler character, just uses regular city parts, just nothing actually new to this figure. However, it's a reference to the administration, who we know is kind of a big deal with Dragons Rising, and it plays into a little storyline of the set because the Time Twins come in the set, and it's just like they're chasing the Time Twins around because that's something they would do. So that might be a possible little Easter egg that happens in the show, or maybe some short relating to Legacy this year. But yeah, I think that would be really funny. But nothing too special. It comes with this really different hairpiece that I've never really seen on a figure. But it's nice to have some sort of official version of an administration agent, which you just change out the head and hair, and you can probably easily make some different ones. It would have been cool if we got the Months one, just because it would have been a cool head mold. Not mold, just different head color, and would have been cooler than random citizen. But we needed filler characters. At least we've got semi-relevant ones to Ninjago. And then our final figure, which is more of a filler character, is Mistake. She does get a new face print, which is very good. That really does fit Mistake. At least I believe it's a new face print. She comes with a little teacup, and then no printing on the legs, just a regular grey sweater, which works for Mistake. Again, kind of a filler character, however, she is important, and specifically we get the Oni form in the Builder minifigure. So if you want that version of Mistake, you can get her. But this is a way of giving us another character who doesn't require a lot of specialized prints and new molds for like hair and stuff that is actually relevant. And at least with Mistake, she's, you know, pretty big, especially going into like the Oni trilogy and stuff. But yeah, that is Mistake. Next we have Dr. Julian, who's probably one of the most anticipated characters out of all of this. This is one of the few ninja parents we haven't got. We're still missing Lou and Lily for Cole, and then we haven't really gotten Ed and Edna for at least the main series. We've gotten a movie version of them, which is kind of accurate. I don't remember, I haven't seen them in a while. But getting Dr. Julian is really nice. It comes with a parrot piece in black, which is currently in production, so it was easy to save cost. It would have been cool to get the Raven piece, Falcon piece, but it's okay. I'm not that mad about it. And he just has a little wrench as well. No leg printing, unfortunately, but that is to save on budget costs. I mean, this set is most definitely way over budget. He gets a new face print where he's happy, and then he's got one where he's more distressed, like when he was working for Samakai. And then I believe it's a new torso print where he's got some of his pens in his pockets, a little bit of back printing. But overall, very cool figure, and one I know a lot of people were very excited for with this set, as this is the only figure from the whole set that we'd never actually gotten some sort of version for outside of the anniversary figures. Well, one of the anniversary figures. So very cool to see here. Next up we have the Postman, one of the original characters from the show. Very cool to see an updated version of him. We did get him back in the Temple of Air Jitsu, but that was his like original series design, and then he got an updated version going into the Wild Brain era and just in general to change from his original version. but very cool. It comes with a letter, it comes with the backpack, and comes with a new face print, which is his Wild Brain face print, and it's also one of the commissioners in Cryptarium, I believe. I don't remember. I don't know the exact faces and stuff. And then he comes with the new torso print with the logo for the post office in the set. And then he's got some back printing as well. But it's nothing too special, just like most of the other figures. But it's still nice to get, even if it's covered by a backpack most of the time. But the Postman, I'd say, is also slightly more of a filler character. He was definitely intended for the set always, because they have the post office. But it is just cool to get him. He doesn't have too many specialized prints or pieces. But yeah, let's move on to the next character. Our next figure is Harumi, who we did get this year, or last year, with her casual uniform. And then we've gotten basically every Harumi outfit. The only ones we were missing were her casual uniform and now her kabuki uniform. And this is what we have here. So this is her crystallized uniform outside of being a part of the Crystal Council. So her alternate face print is the kabuki mask. You get the hood. That looks really good. I love the printing on that. And it doesn't even like, sometimes the printing can get faded on her face, but I think it works really well. And then just for her other side, she's got her hairpiece, and then she's got the she's with us face is what everyone calls it, because it's her final expression that she shows off in the original series before we haven't seen her since. But this might be hinting that we might see her at the Old Town, because I mean, she is an ally of the ninja, and the Old Town is supposed to be where most of Ninjago is, so it would make sense for her to be there. But that's just their theory. It's cool to get her. It was the last Harumi version we're missing. Yeah, that is the last Harumi version we're missing. So very cool to get her. Let's move on to the last couple figures. Our next figure is Lord Garmadon. So this is based off of his early season 1 and pilot design. So he's only got the 2 arms. I believe it's the same torso print we've recently gotten for Garmadon. He came out in a set not too long ago. Actually, it might have been crystallized, so it was a while ago. But yeah, we got a new Garmadon figure. Nothing too special, no printed legs. The back printing is basically the same. He comes with the original helmet with the bone in it. And then he has this really like cheerful grin, which is an expression we've never really gotten. And then we've got the more stern face, which could be used for Emperor Garmadon, you know, looking over the city where he's way more serious. And then something they've been doing for a lot of the elemental masters outside of the ninja, because they get their weapons, they come with their elemental power. So Garmadon is destruction, shown with purple, similar to how when Lloyd went into his Oni form, he took the purple like accents when he was going Oni. But yeah, looks very cool. I really love this figure, and realistically is the main villain of the set, if you want to be technical. But yeah, let's move on to the next figure. Our next figure is Faith. Again, a character who was not always supposed to be in the set, but has been planned for the set for a long time. Technically, we have Faith. However, we don't have the face print or the hair. So it's really cool to get those. She's got 2 expressions, one angry, one happy. But yeah, I mean, it's literally the same printing, almost exactly, from Heavy Metal back in Season 9. And just in general, like, this feels like it could have come out from back then. There hasn't been a lot of changes, which is really nice. I really love the design of Faith, and I'm really happy we got a full version of her, even if the original version wasn't that far off. But this is the version we see more, so it is cool to get. And let's move on to the final figures. Our next figure is Dr. Saunders. He comes with his little pocket watch piece, and he looks really good. I really love that we got him, because we never got him originally, and he was kind of a big deal with specifically Day of the Departed, the lead up to Day of the Departed as well. I remember seeing the shorts with him, and obviously season 7 for reasons, which if you don't understand, you'll see soon. But I love the design on him. It looks just like him. He's got the pocket watch in his pocket, obviously. He's got the museum design, like logo design on the back, which is the same one we see on the set. So yeah, I really love the design of him. Very happy we got him. And there's something specifically really cool about this. To save on budget, because Dr. Saunders is also Crux, they use the same head, which is similar to how the what is it? The original figure back from 2017 did it. He had an alternate face print, which was the Dr. Saunders head. But yeah, hairpiece is also great, and this would look good with your season 7 sets to just get that original, or not original, but the design for an older Crux in disguise. The only complaint is the mustache is so much shorter because it's only on the face print. It would have been so funny if it went down into the torso, but that's just a personal thing. And for the next two figures, I think it's only fair I cover them together. We have Crux and Acronix. They do use the same torso printing. However, the arms are flipped, so the red's on different sides and the silver's on different sides. But they are just the same prints, which does mean, unlike their original versions, one side doesn't have the gunmetal grey armor, whilst the other side's red. But because they are the young versions of both of them, they don't have all the high-tech stuff. Crux isn't as old, so it's really cool. Again, they have their studs, so slowness, speed up, reverse, pause. And people question why we didn't get the time blazers in the set, but that's because these are obviously before the what's it called? Before like they went against the rest of the alliance. So 2 more figures for the Elemental Alliance from the original Elemental Masters. Very cool to see them here. Helps complete that collection. We really are only missing a couple of the more obscure ones really now, because we've got all the Ninjas ones, we've got Wu Garmadon, and then, I mean, I guess Chen would have been like the next coolest thing to get. But yeah, very cool that we got them both. Acronix gets new face print with 2 sides, a more happy and an angry one, and then obviously Crux gets the Dr. Saunders face as well. But yeah, very cool figures. Really happy we got them, and yeah, I mean, there might be a chance they show up because it would just be a funny little reference in the background, but we'll see what happens. They might do a short like they did for the 10th anniversary. And then finally, because this is a 15th anniversary set, we have the 15th anniversary display stand. So you can take the figures off and just display it. The end caps come off specifically, which can be a little hard to get off sometimes because of how small they are. But you can take them off. You can grab your other displays and connect them there. This is flipped from the other displays, so when you have them connected, your centerpiece is the only version of the 15th anniversary logo in there. Whereas if you were to only buy one set, then that one comes with the 15th anniversary logo at least. But getting into the figures, we'll use the stand as is. We have Young Wu, which is a really cool figure. We've gotten his suit before, however the tan I believe was grey, so instead they decided to use the grey because sometimes it does look like grey, so it's very cool to get that reference. He's got a yellow stud in one hand to represent creation, and then obviously his staff in the other. But yeah, not too much. He's got a new face print, which is from the battle between brothers, which is referenced in the other set. It's got the giant silver dragon on the gold dragon on the back, and yeah, very cool. Very happy we got a Young Wu, because we've never really gotten this figure, just the outfit before. Our next figure is Young Garmadon, who again uses the same printing as Wu, however uses the purple and the red. He has the pink stud to represent destruction. Same staff. He uses Lloyd's old hair, which is really cool. He has the giant red dragon on the back. And for his face print, he's got a new face print. He looks a lot like Lloyd there, which he does when he's younger. And then he's got where he's more possessed by the Overlord, which is a really cool design. But yeah, very cool figure to get here as well. And then finally, the star of the show, I still can't believe we got this, the first Spinjitzu master, whose design is really cool. I mean, it's the Woo Crew outfit, but slightly modified, which is kind of a shame, because, I mean, it would have been cool. It is his design from season 10, I get that. He comes with his staff, obviously, which is a very nice build. I think it looks really good. And then getting into the actual figure, you've got his ponytail, you've got the back of it. I personally think I'm going to display it like this, just because it feels wrong to see his face. But because we technically have, for a couple frames in the show, we have his face, and it feels just like Woo's face, and also just sort of like a generic old man, which is kind of a shame. But I do really like his design. I love the dragons as well added on, and then obviously the dragon at the back. But personally, I might be displaying it like this, just because that's how we see him in the show. And I mean, it just feels right. That, or I'm gonna have him bent over the entire time, because I'm not looking up towards him to see his face. I'll always be looking down, hopefully. But yeah, very cool that we got them. Kind of wish we only got one in this set, because it would mean we would get 2 more legacy sets, but I mean, I'm not complaining. 3 amazing figures. But yeah, that's about all I have to say about all the figures. Let's go on to the wrap up of the set. And that's it for my review of the Old Town. This is, I mean, a spectacular set. It's pretty much perfect. It's got like its one flaw for me, which is the string. I really hate string in Lego sets, especially like that one. But I mean, for $300, you're getting almost 5,000 pieces, which is insanely good. Compare that to a Star Wars set. With this piece count, you'd be spending, what, like 700? 750? Yeah, not throwing anything at Star Wars, it's just, pricing is amazing on this. It's so worth it. It's not for everyone. Not everyone has $300 to spend on this set, and in other places in the world it is more. This was $500 for me, but I think it's even worth the $500 price I paid in Australian, especially compared to some other sets which go crazy expensive. But yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say. I really said it all in this review, I think. Right now I am recording this before actually going into the deep dive of the set, but I mean, I'm sure I talked a lot about a lot of this stuff, and I'm really happy with all of it. Can't wait for you guys to hopefully get this. If you are planning on getting any anniversary set, go for the smaller ones first. Don't try and go this first, unless you want to save that money and then get it all here, as this has so many exclusive figures, so many cool references to throughout the show, and can't forget the special 15th anniversary figures, which does mean the set is needed if you're a collector. But I mean, obviously, all the big sets have always been needed for collectors, as they always come with a special, at least one special exclusive figure for the fans, even if we don't realize that they are so important until a bit later. But yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say about this set. Thank you guys for watching, especially if you made it through the whole review. If you watched the whole review, thank you so much. I do YouTube just for the fun of it. I buy these sets for myself, whether or not I'm making a video on it. So I just want to be able to share this for you guys, and I'm happy that if you are here, you have watched the full thing. It just means that I'm doing this for you guys as well, even if it's not as much as some other creators who get sent the stuff early and can get it out a month in advance. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.